Today is April 22nd, 2025. Last night outside my work, that guy was on the phone with that other guy on speaker, where they had said a couple months ago about his grandfather behind me, the older Indian guy. January of 19 showed up when I got my stomach scope, was in the back before they rolled me in. That's my beautiful princess, my beautiful, beautiful princess. You tell those people to make sure nothing happens to her, okay? And then that family started following me. All right, that guy on the phone, he said, last night when I got out of my car, he's like, we told Michelle she better not be telling on us. Just tell her she don't know what she's talking about. Now, we're going to not play stupid anymore. Okay, how many times has the drug cartel laughed in my face? Instead of the FBI protecting you, he went out with her because she's more beautiful. She's dating an FBI agent. How many times? Walmart, in front of people. Instead of the FBI protecting you, their agent went out with her because she's more beautiful. How many times? Repeatedly. She knew she was dating an FBI agent. Absolutely. 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 They bragged it all over Walmart, everywhere. Belden. How many times? Maslin. Akron. That agent was going out with her. How many times? She knew that was an FBI agent she was dating. So March 27th, 25. Well, why do you think he was dating you, honey? Because you're so beautiful. Or was it that you're a serial killer and a human trafficker? And he was scamming you to get you to confess to him. Because it's illegal for him to date a criminal. So we're going to put it that way. It's illegal for him to date a criminal. March 27th, 25, outside my work. I had went through everything from getting sick, all the surgeries, muscles locking up, all the crackpots, all the wrong meds, swelled up, everything shut down, seizures, heart attacks, false diagnoses, and to the point that they wanted to even take part of my brain out, okay? And all my family physicians told that they were known for lying, falsely diagnosing people, ripping them off and making them sick. It was a medication doing it. It's wrote up as fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors, and then documented. They encouraged Dave and I to sue him for 2 years, maybe 3. Okay. Dr. Eli agreed. Then the put it on fentanyl patches, muscle relaxers, and over 9 months go up. Then Strange making up that lie 6 months later. And in the middle of me getting well, actually it was 6 months after that traffic accident I had nothing to do with. We were all at home and started with Dr. Eli in November of 2002. Was almost well in April of that accident for that rich family where her father was speeding, ran a stop sign, ran into someone, killed him and his grandson both. We were all at home. That was May 3rd, 2003, and I got well in July. And Strange didn't make it up till November of 2003 when he thought I was following Tim and Katie. And then him taking Danny, pushing him to suicide. When he thought I was following Tim and Katie, his reaction was swift and hard. I found out the bastard planned my death and destruction because he thought I would dare follow his kid, and it was my sister following her husband. And they just waited. To them nailing my mom's tires till she moved away, to the money disappearing, the 4 attempts on my life, to calling the FBI, and then that agent telling on me, and and everything that happened. Okay. The guy was outside where I was working, and he said, "I'm glad she stayed up and went over everything." I told Michelle I never want to speak to her again, and yes, I'm good with it. She confessed to me when they bashed in the back of her head that she was part of it, and they tried to kill her that day or leave her incompetent and brain damaged, and it didn't work. Okay. And the reason why she don't know who that doctor is, because it's not one of hers. He works for them. They lied. And Dave was telling everyone he was forced into marrying her. Nobody in that church forced him, and I got it out of Dave, that it was one of his girlfriends from before the marriage told him to marry her so he could get that factory job, because my dad was VP of a company. And so she could have free insurance. The woman using my insurance for 15 years, half my medical bills were Dave's girlfriend. And he could give her extra money. My whole marriage was a scam. Okay? He's told several people he is a federal agent. He's told several people. And then on April 17th, 25, at Sheetz. Now I have the police, I have the FBI, or marshals follow me around. FBI informant. Okay? I pull in Sheetz in Hartville. Girl had to use the restroom. I'm sitting outside. I got my window down. Look in my rear view mirror, or my side car mirror, and there's a thin, white blonde girl, white pants, pink shirt, long curly hair, talking to a guy, walks up and talks to a guy in an SUV, and she's loud enough you can hear her across the parking lot. I talked to the police up there. They said, how stupid. And then they're trying to say he's an undercover agent. She knew he was an FBI agent. She not telling them that? She knew he was an FBI agent. The drug cartel was laughing at me. Walmart. Everywhere. That the FBI was supposed to protect you. Instead, he went out with her because she's more beautiful. They told everyone from Maslin, Walmart 62, Akron, Canton, North Canton, anywhere I was, she was dating him. Louisville. She knew he was an agent. Trying to act stupid. And so did the drug cartel. He tricked her. He got her to finally confess to him. Said, how stupid were you confessing to him that you were part of bashing her head in and tried to have her killed? And that doctor was not hers. You're all going to, and said that we'll all end up in jail for this. And I really liked him. Aw. Haha. He got you. Because soon as she confessed, he broke up with her. Why do you think he was dating you? It is illegal for a federal agent to date a criminal. Anybody known or part of crimes. Like they said, they sent Agent John up to that church. Since these people were so stupid or so dumb, the FBI calls these people dumb. Dumb. She calls a hotline for help, and they walk into an FBI office, confess what they were doing to her. They actually confessed. And if they're going to be that dumb, told Agent John to go up there and tell on her and act dumb too. Find out who's all involved. You know, the FBI and police have been around me real heavy. Marshals, sheriffs. Who do you think were in the white SUVs and the other ones that stopped when she started talking? Like they said, they got that girl under police surveillance confessing she tried to have her killed. And that's not her doctor. Well, let's see. I've been up in Hartville for a couple times over the last 2 weeks. A week ago Saturday. And then, what was it? What? Monday afterwards. And then, and then this last Saturday. And what did those people say? What did they say? They never fell for the scam of a dirty doctor taping you unaware. Sitting on crimes until Dave wanted a divorce. Like other investigators had said, it's so illegal. Those people don't even realize what they said. The doctor would go to jail regardless. It's illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's right on Google. Privacy Acts, HIPAA. And then they're not allowed to disclose what you say to them. It's illegal for them to even say they've seen you. But if they know someone's getting hurt, they have to go to the police and say, there's a situation you need to look into. I can't tell you how. And let them handle it. Okay? Or they go to jail as an accessory. And like the investigator said, it sounded mechanical. The recording sounded mechanical. They knew they altered it. Well, they have a voice alternator. They were even copied Will's voice for all Karen's will. Turn on the voice alternator. You can get them on Google Play, Amazon. You're so stupid. Sing like a rock star kind of thing. But you can copy someone's voice, speak through it. They even did Carl's. Where I was out working in North Canton, it sounded like Carl outside, but a little different. It sounded deeper. And when they turn on the voice alternator, we're all Karen's Will. She's only to hear Will's voice when she's out, and they drive by. That idiot in my old apartment is trying to start his own little hate crime. Now, Michelle already confessed March 27th, 25 to a federal agent. And he's already told other people and other agents that they flat out lied to get away with it. Okay? March 30th, 25, that idiot in my old apartment was outside telling him, well, like they said, it took him long enough to confess. That church is sending out emails asking people to harm people in other religious groups to show up to harm me. Or show up and harass me to make sure I get nothing. His religious group was the first one to answer the call. Well, if you were really a godly people, you would have turned them into the place and did the right thing. It shows how godless you are. And how no fear of even God, that God would punish you for harming somebody else. And for the sin of doing it, you want to break your human trafficker. You need to be locked up in federal prison. And someone needs to. The guy is very dangerous. He's probably one of my rapists. Going around telling people we were the first religious group that showed up. We were there from the beginning. Oh, so you knew that doctor wasn't mine. And they had drugged me up and told me to say it before, like they've confessed during this case. And they had voice alternators. And guess what? The police and feds never fell for it. Like they said, they never fell for a dirty doctor keeping you unaware of confessing to crimes and sitting on it until Dave wanted a divorce. And he was in it with Dave. Think about that. How illegal that would be. He'd go to jail either way. And then it sounded mechanical. They could tell how they altered it. It's a stupid scam. Like they said, the people that did this are so dumb. The FBI called them dumb. Oh yeah, to even try something like this. And he's out there saying, I was even in that agent's office, so he was purposely defrauding that agent. Purposely defrauding him. And when he asked her about that doctor, she said she didn't know who he was. Well, even Michelle told the federal agent, I didn't know who he was. And she confessed in Sheetz parking lot, too, in front of a bunch of police officers. That it's not my doctor. Well, that agent knew she was lying. So he turned her back over to us and told us he didn't care what they did to her. Well, a godly man wouldn't do anything but help you. He's godless and he is dangerous. Going around telling people a doctor taped her unaware, saying blah, 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 blah. Now, they already confessed years ago they drugged me and told me to say it repeatedly. Like Officer Mark, that's over my works my FBI case. He's told people in August of 23, it's documented and verified she was framed before. And it was the drug cartel in her home before. Drug cartel. So he's in it with the drug cartel. They seen him. On a Tuesday in August of 23, outside Kohl's in Belden, he's talking to a lady. He said, none of this is funny. She said, did her ex-husband defend her? He said, yes, we taped him. So did I. He said, did anybody ever speak to her? He said, no. Then they had to have framed her. It's documented and verified she was framed before. Was it the drug cartel? Yes, we've seen him. It's documented and verified it was a medication error that made her sick before. And it's documented and verified another woman was using her insurance. She's like, none of this is funny. He said, I know it's not. Well, see, that's what the FBI said on Saturday. That they were playing these people. And trust me, nobody thought it was funny. When those people showed up and said that Dave hired them and they work for a drug lord. For we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. And like they said, trust me, we all know that gunshot night happened. And none of this is funny. I know it did. Oh, and the FBI was complaining, those police up there better not be insulting her. With what's going on, they better not be. Oh my God. That Dixie thinks she can extort money out of people. He said they all do. She said, well, they're going to learn. where Dixie on April 6th of 25 finally showed her true self, where I'm so scared of Dave. I can't have you around because what would these people do? like she passing out. She ever does that when you arrest her, bitch leper. I go over to Danny and Jen's. Jen comes out and said, come on in. It's Dixie and the girls are in there. I said, are you sure? And she said, yeah. I go in, I sit down, I think I said a word or two, and she walked into the kitchen. She said, nobody thinks it's funny she married that old man out there. I talked to a lady investigator, even though on tape, I said she could tape me, that even though I gave her permission, that lady investigator said she can extort all kinds of government money out for me and Melissa. And she can get all that old man's money, and she won't have anything when he dies. She can extort all that money for us. Cray cray. Okay. She said Melissa said that group of people they hired to watch her and do those things. Oh, so Melissa was part of paying for it. Thank you for testifying against her. My phone's bugged by the police. That the way they described it to me makes sense, that the chief of police gives special permission to groups of people to break in other people's homes and watch them unaware and do things to them. Oh my God, they're stupid, aren't they? And the way they described it to me, it totally made sense because she's a nitwit. Cyber stalking, felony invasion of privacy, breaking and entering. Then we got rape, human trafficking, drugs, kiddie porn. There's some serious charges: sextortion, cyber stalking, racketeering. There's serious charges. And that idiot in my old apartment is part of it. Was there from the beginning. Like I said, he's probably one of my rapists. She said, that lady investigator told Melissa she can extort all kinds of money out of the government for her. And she's going to get me some too. Attempted extortion? Oh, federal crime. You can never extort money. And that's Will's secretary. They announced that a week ago Saturday. You know, that's Will's up in Hartwell in front of people. And if they didn't want me to know, they didn't want everybody to know, that's no attorney, that's no investigator. That's Agent Will's secretary. And they announced it. They were laughing about it up in Cuyahoga Falls and other places. That's what, on Saturday, those lady agents, I heard they told on us for that guy's secretary. I know they told him. Well, if they didn't want you to know, they wouldn't have said it in front of people. Okay, sorry. The idiot left. I'll tell you what, every time he's here, I'm scared to death. I am. I'm scared to death. These people tortured me. They human trafficked me. They drugged me till I lost 70 pounds. They human trafficked me. Let other men rape me. Scared of them? Ungodly. Bashed my head in, tried to shoot me driving. Shooting night on Christmas Eve of 2018. I lived through a 007 movie. Okay, so going back to what Dixie said. Dixie said, now I told you I only have 3 weird memories before the FBI. Never seen or talked to anybody. Never had my neighbors in my home. The only 2 police officers I talked up there to was August 8 of 18, midnight. Called 911. I had a light in my outside security system. They said it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit, and told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. They weren't bothered. It was probably one of those idiots to come over and rape me, and I caught him. And it's that sick. The 3 memories that I have that were weird was the sound of marching footsteps. White man's arm, white dress shirt, gray pinstripe, and a giant needle coming at me in the room going black, and I thought it was a nightmare. And then feeling like my back's being ripped open to my sternum, and every cell in my back and in my chest is screaming in agony. Agony. And all I can hear is myself screaming. I can't breathe. And I can't see anything. My one neighbor said, I bet they were smothering you. Well, they were hurting you. Now, the way they're telling it, poor Dave. Poor Dave. He had to sit in the basement and listen to her have wild sex with other men. He let them in. The doors were supposed to be locked, and he sat in the basement and hear me scream and wail like that while they were beating and raping me. And so when I'd wake up, I'd have giant bruises all over me, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, migraine headache, and severe swollen personal infection. And I'm blaming the dirty well water I'm showering in, thinking it's giving me cancer. And I'm seen by Altman family physicians, lost 18 pounds before I called FBI. Never even had my neighbors in my home, only family and repair guys. Now I want you to think how sick that is. But poor Dave. Poor Dave. I don't blame him for what they did to her. When are you going to arrest her? Like they said Saturday, we have to make sure Danny's not involved, where they denied knowing any of it and said that they had nothing to do with it, before we'd even help them. Those 2 other boys of hers were framing Danny, and they were in it from the beginning. As a mother, I felt like my heart's been ripped out of my chest. I was willing to die to save him, tried to let him go after me to get caught because Dave was threatening to kill them all. And here they're in it with that bastard and having me hurt because Dave has a girlfriend? Who the hell would let that happen to their mother? Who the hell would let that happen to their mother for their father to have a girlfriend? What would have been the difference? He would have paid a little more alimony? It's just a numbers game. He would have paid a little more alimony. That's it. Dave's got this thing about him. He acts like a scared, hurt little boy. And people think, and he manipulates people. And they all do what he says. It's evil. I mean, I've watched it over 33 years. He acts like a scared little boy, and people just feel so sorry for him. And they just do whatever he asks. He's sick. They're sick doing it. Huh? Jen told her. I'm so proud of Jen. She said some lady asked me if I knew of any tape before. And I told them we weren't part of it and we didn't know anything. And they asked me if they knew about a tape of Weird With Yourself. We didn't know anything. And we weren't part of it, nor do we want anything to do with this. She had giant bruises all over her. I seen them. Orange, lemon, grapefruit. They were treating me with iron pills and muscle relaxers. I didn't know where they came from. You don't remember. And I can't imagine my two other children being part of having me her Dave's girlfriend. Put him in jail. I was willing to try to save them. And they were in it with Dave and his girlfriend. Put him in jail before they hurt somebody else and get my grandkids away from him. Michelle's group break, they sold kitty porn. That guy in my old apartment, he's part of the tapes before. He helped sell kitty porn then. Like a retired CIA agent. Came and talked to me. Huh? And for someone who's retired, she still talks to him. They're all after that Texas group. They're all after that Texas group that was involved in here. She said they killed both FBI and CIA agents. They dismember people too. I knew that because they bragged it around me. They work in families. I know that. They did it here. Went over different things. She's like, you can tell you've been around the human traffickers. The way you stand, the way you talk, the way you act screams mafia, mama. And I told her how they bullied me and would walk by and scream stuff at me if they didn't like my hair, my clothes, would mock me. And she said, you better be careful. That special outfit comes out. I said, I heard about that. She said, that means you're sold. We went through different things that I knew and she knew. But they're all after that Texas group that was here. They're all after him. Where that agent said, trust me, nobody thought it was funny when that group said that they worked for a drug lord and Dave hired them. For we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. The king from Texas is U.S. military. Iraqi translator went into the dark web malware. Fentanyl king. That's where the Middle Eastern people showed up, the lady in hijab. Talking about the king. They even talked about the king in Louisville. See, that's where Michelle, where I was talking to my friend Tess from Faith Family Church. I said, well, you know, the Florida group, the people that said they were from Florida and they were drug dealers. Yeah, I remember seeing them at church. They said they worked for Judge Peters. Yeah. Michelle was with them. And how they would drug, beat, and rape anybody for her. They even said that she had them all tell who they worked for. So, Judge Peters would get arrested and she could take over the Florida drug cartel. You want a drug cartel pin? She's a dingbat. You already got her under, like they said, they got her under police surveillance confessing. She tried to kill me and that's not my doctor. They never fell for it anyways. It's illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's right on Google. It's illegal for a doctor to ask you a dirty criminal question too. They're there for medical. That's sexual misconduct. It's illegal for a doctor to disclose anything that you say to them. They go to jail. Then it's illegal if they know someone's being hurt and they don't report it to the police but can't tell them how they know. And for them to look into it. That makes them an accessory. Like they said, the doctor would go to jail either way. And he's not my doctor. Like the police and the FBI both said, the ones that worked my case. Nobody fell for that. That some dirty doctor taped you unaware before of confessing to crimes and then sat on it till Dave wanted a divorce and he was in it with Dave? Other ones are like it sounded mechanical anyways. You can tell they altered it. I never I don't even know who he is. I've never met him. He, like they said, he works for them. They lied. It's a scam. It's a big drug scam from the drug dealers that are human trafficking people. January 13th, 22. This whole thing, like my friend that worked at the prosecutor's offices in Starr County, it's a big fraud scheme. Like they said, these people are so dumb that are doing this. They don't know the laws. I wouldn't put it past them. They had break that they paid off a dirty doctor. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just some guy saying he was a doctor. I bet it's that bad. He's not mine. They were talking down in Sugar Creek, April 3rd, 25. That heavyset white lady walked out ahead of me. Was at the bottom of the step that one of their guys had told on him. Told on him for that doctor wasn't mine. That they had lied. And she was saying it out in Sugar Creek. In the open. My car got her. Then they have that agent where she confessed to a federal agent. Then she confessed in outside sheets. Loud enough it was across the parking lot. And those SUVs driving around all stopped. They got Michelle's confession under police surveillance. Get her to do a plea deal. Rat out. Who else is involved? She's a dingbat. She'll sing like a canary. But I was proud of Jen. She stood right up to Dixie. We were not part of this. And she had giant bruises. And I told that lady, we want nothing to do with this. I'm realizing with what she said, been saying around here, what was going on up there, and I want nothing to do with it. Well, I told her about my neighbor, Mike Aunt Murphy. And in the middle of the second beer, he didn't remember anything. Didn't know how he got home, didn't know how he changed his shoes, didn't know how he got money in his pocket, didn't know what was in a box that had mustard in it. Had him check his bank, told him to go sleep it off, and he looks at me plain as day and tells me he was a New York cop and thought I was pretty. I'm like, go sleep that off. I went and talked to him later on. I said, well, how are you? And he said, he's doing okay. He said, I went back down to that bar. They told me in the middle of the second beer, I started telling people he was an astronaut. I said, well, you told me you were a New York cop. He started laughing. I don't remember saying that to you. Like the investigator said, do you realize how not funny that is? To get someone that stoned and have him say something that horrible. How not funny this is. How would you like to be me and never see or talk to anybody? How would you like to be me? How would you like to take a drink out of a drink and the room go dizzy and black? Hours later, come out of it, got marks all over you, throwing up, head spinning. Now the well water you're showering in, you just moved in this house and you haven't got the water treatment system. You have to take a shower and your personal area is all swollen. You think it's the well water going to the doctor. What on earth is wrong with me? Do you fall? No. Maybe you're coming anemic. Give me iron pills. You know how bad my muscles hurt from being beat by those bastards? Orange, lemon, and grapefruit size. And they gave me muscle relaxer stuff for headaches, throwing up, and then severe swollen personal infection. Lost 18 pounds before I called FBI. Talk about scary movies yet? Or wake up with injection marks and the same thing. Like Jen said, she was covered in them. And I told her about the U.S. Marshals kid that I met. She went to Jersey's bar. She took a drink in the room, went dizzy and black. She don't know what happened to her. She waited a while, went to another bar, happened again. She ended up in the hospital, didn't know how she got out of the bar. Told her about my coworker, Dar, taking a drink at a bar. And she don't remember anything. Her friend said she acted a little happy. A group of people came up that she didn't know. She left with them, but she's talking, acting fine. Found herself in a puddle pee. Got herself home throwing up. And 2 months later, she found out she was pregnant again. She's arguing with the doctor. I have not had sex with anyone. They had raped her and redressed her. I was telling Danny and Jen about the people I know have been roofied. I said, I could have told Mike to say or do anything, he wouldn't have remembered. And U.S. Marshals, you better be keeping an eye on that little girl. She's what they're looking for, thin and blonde. Special orders. And they just didn't roofie her to make her forget. They've done something really shitty to her. Drugged her up and told her to say something stupid. Probably stripped her naked, put her in some kind of weird porn. Wherever she lives, you make sure the police know. Because they'll wait and get her later. Okay? Now. That's why Jen said, I'm realizing what was going on. I seen those giant bruises. They were all over her. And I told that lady, I want nothing to do with this. Well, that lady told us she could extort all kinds of money out of the government. Are you nuts trying to extort money out of the government? Huh? And I can extort all that old man's money. And they're going to give it all to me and Melissa. Like the investigators that worked my case. This whole thing, do you realize how stupid Dixie was? Saying something like that. We all know when the FBI gets around to paying Karen, she was only going to help them. Other investigators, those kids, would rather have her killed or drugged, raped, and destroyed before they would just let her and try to steal and extort money from her before they would let her just hand it to them. Then put them in jail. Put them in jail before they hurt somebody else. I was willing to die for him. Because Dave was threatening he was going to kill everyone. It's like you'll go through me first. If I have to go around taping my own witnesses. And they get caught killing me. At least my children would still be alive. And to find out two of them were in it with Dave. And they even said, do you realize how not funny it is? When Jen told everybody they didn't know of that shower scene and that tape of Weird With Yourself, and it was supposed to be them that reported it, and they didn't know, they were framing them, and they didn't know. I'm waiting for the police and the FBI to arrest Josh and Dixie, Melissa, and where that lady agent said, when we get around taking care of this, we will be precise. You make sure you get the ass out of my old apartment. He knew that wasn't my doctor. Because he works for the Florida Drug Cartel. That's who was in my home before. Like April 28th, 24, Walmart on the Strip. I walk in. A guy's on the phone. I listened to the recorded line. That agent did admit to telling on her, and he did talk to her like that. They better do something about it. Go to the canned veggie aisle. Officer in uniform shows up. Karen, I was listening to this today. We all know. Nobody drugs anybody but the drug cartel. There was a drug cartel in your home before. And we all know that guy told on you. I want to know how he heard it. That guy heard it and takes off after him. And then the guy that's talking to Kurt, that no, this is funny. They have the agent admitting to telling on me before he talked to me on a recorded line. They have these people admitting they drugged me and told me to say it before. They photoshopped everything and made everything up on me. And they have all my family, the police have all my family taped defending me. None of this is funny. Everybody stay out of it. Then Pam showing up with her granddaughter. Make sure you get her too. Uncle Dave says he had someone tape her before. Oh, they'll verify it. We go to leave. Investigators bust out laughing. Took her long enough to confess she was in it with Dave in those stocking tapes. Her family better never verify it. The police already taped them defending her. They all defended me to my face. And that they didn't know anything about this. And these people admitted they drugged her and told her to say it before. And they admitted they photoshopped everything and made everything up on her. That means her kids were in it with Dave the whole time and trying to cover it up for him to kill her. The police would have to arrest him. People scattered. Like the lady agent said, the investigators working her case about died when she uploaded that video asking for her money from the government so she could help her kids. And Officer John told everybody she was willing to die to save them. And she didn't know that 2 of them were in it with Dave the whole time. No, I didn't. Then arrest them. And get those kids. Do you realize that's where the CI agent told me, if you knew of those tapes before and they were going on and you didn't report it, you were an accessory to those crimes, including child pornography. Because they were taping in the bathroom. And children use that bathroom. They're also accessory to human trafficking, attempted murder, racketeering, sextortion, cyber stalking, kidnapping. Where do you want to start? And that idiot run around telling people, now people in Louisville, the ones that have been here for years, let's see, how many people knew of Henry Maffei, the Gentleman's Club from Florida, the people that worked for Judge Peters from Florida, and that they were drug traders. They were in the bars. They were everywhere. How many people knew of the king and his men taking care of me? Why would a king care about her? She doesn't even have nice enough clothes to meet a king. I was their big scam. That's why. How many times have they screamed Melissa's lies on the streets of Louisville? They've done it in Canton. They've done it other places. How many times, even Memorial Day weekend, 21, that heavyset Michelle and Lauren that was with the Florida drug cartel, I'm sitting on Fairlawn Street on a front porch. She goes by in a blue car. The goons from Ravenna are sitting at the end of the street. And she's yelling at them, "Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession." Said, "Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before." Bullshit. They were admitting to drugging me and telling me to say stuff since the first month of the case. And how they framed me before. We had bruises before throwing up and infected. It was us. We were drug beating, raping you. We had photoshopped all our lives. We drugged you and told you to say this. We drugged you and told you to say that. By January 19, they photoshopped effeminate white people off the toilet to make you look weird. They erased some guy named Chris out of the room. By 21, it was a shower scene of washing yourself in the shower. Like they said, they could always tell it was photoshopped. These people are dumb that did this. Dumb. Dangerous, but dumb. That's not a good combination. Now, Officer John, Officer Mark, I don't know when you're going to take care of it. You need to take care of it soon. Because, like the investigators said, they all realize they're going to go to federal prison. They'll kill themselves. It'll be a Jim Jones thing. And Dixie's crazy. And her being in with Dave and faking she was scared and her true self came out. She could hurt those children. And I don't want Josh or her to harm themselves or their kids. And Melissa's a part of that call. They could do the same thing. You make sure you get Ron and Lisa when you arrest people. Make sure you get Keith. You make sure you get Pam. Mary Edmonds? I'm sure her family's involved. And Katie, you make sure you get the ones involved, so no one else ever gets hurt like this again. Never again. Like that lady said, where did on a video, I always knew this day would come when the government came back to take care of them once they got done with the drug dealers. Like that lady said, the government will not let this go. I like my money. Dear God, I got you, Trakasami. Remember Michael Peterson in 21, where that lady investigator said, where he said he was smuggling oil in the U.S., sent a letter of allegation, big money wire transfers. I got when he was going down, where he was staying, where the port, it was coming back in. Even this date where was buying the smuggled oil. And they called down and asked about that shipment. It wasn't legit, and they'd look into it. He got arrested for smuggling oil and other crimes. Him and 50 other people. I got you, world terrorist. Got Judge Peters, 100 men out of Florida. U.S. Marshals been using the case, and they showed up in January 20th of 23. Been blowing the hell out of them. Got 800 people, all under police surveillance. The California group bragging which kind of drugs they're bringing in. They laugh in my face. Michigan, New York, Buffalo, New York, actually. Tennessee and Kentucky. You know they found 3 kids with some ass from Tennessee. The Kingsmen from Texas. The fentanyl Kingsmen. North and South Carolina drug dealers. Georgia human traffickers. All caught under police surveillance, breaking their crimes and who they work for. It was bad guys on a platter. If they wanted somebody inside the cartel, a person they're running a scam on, and they're human trafficking, list them, informant, and turn them back over to them. It's sick, it's evil, but very effective. You know, people have even said, you didn't realize how many terrorists were messed up in this. That's why they're all after them. I like my money. Danny and Jen are not part of this. And I'm horrified as a mother that Josh and John were. For Dave to have a girlfriend. Who would do that? Even people said, we listened to her in the car. Who would have their own mother drugged, beat, and raped, drugged up and told to say stuff, and almost murdered, for their dad's new girlfriend? No one. That's how sick this is. Do you realize how evil you are to hurt your mother for your dad's girlfriend? Think about that. How evil are you? You know, just Josh has a home. He may not have the greatest cars, but he's got reliable cars. He has a job he's always dreamed of. 3 beautiful daughters and a wife. He has that, like the people said, he has everything. He's going to lose everything. He'll never be able to get a good job. He's going to go down as a human trafficker. An extortionist. Him and Dixie. Melissa's electrical engineer. Her and her husband have a lot of money. And then she gets child support from my son. That has a lot of money. That's an electrical engineer too. That's where this is crazy. They would even involve themselves for Dave to have a girlfriend. Think about this. Just make sure my grandchildren, when you take care of it, you grab them. Get Flora back to Allison. And Ashley back, Crystal back to Ashley. And Melissa's kids, you're going to have to get a hold of her parents. And I don't know what you're going to do with Brielle, unless Danny will take her. See, you think for even the safety of your own children, you wouldn't participate in crimes. They could put you in jail the rest of your life for your own children's sake. And then you got everything. And see, that's one thing. If they weren't involved, when I got my money, I had all plans of helping them. All plans. I loved them enough. I was going to die trying to get Dave caught so they couldn't kill them. And here they were involved in that. Put them in jail. Put them in jail. Got them under police surveillance. Put them in jail. Make sure you get that idiot out of my old apartment. He's a danger to Louisville. Saying he was part of any of this. See, back in 19, they said anybody stupid enough to put their name on this will go to jail for this. These people have confessed to heinous crimes. And I got lectured by officers and agents. You know better than to feel sorry for no man. You know better than to feel sorry for no man that puts their name on this. I know. People have been taken and sold like cattle. Children and women. To be murdered and sex slaves. I've been raped, I've been tortured, I've been human trafficked, I've almost been murdered, and I was drugged till I lost 70 pounds and publicly humiliated. I have a dent in my head, I've been beat with internal injuries, and you want to be part of that? And then you think you're going to extort money out of the government and out of victimizing somebody? Put them in jail. Put them in jail. And the day that you take care of them, you get me and Danny and his family out of here, because they'll come over with their own shotguns and kill us. Nobody's going to be safe. You realize that, right? They've hired the drug cartels. Well, you got another head of a drug cartel's confession, going to put her in jail. She knew she was dating an FBI agent. How many times they laugh at me. FBI was supposed to protect you. But he went out with her instead because she's so more beautiful. He's dating Michelle. How many times? Well, he was dating you, so you confessed to him, honey. Oh. But I really liked him. Ah. Try a plea deal. My money, please, and get... I'm scared. I'm scared for my grandchildren. I'm scared for Danny and Jen. I'm scared for my husband, Carl, with that idiot being 2 apartments away. You know, he was out there one day going, just dancing around doing that. We got in the car, he's like, oh my gosh, look at that guy doing that to us. He's like, Karen, I don't doubt he's one of your rapists the way he acts towards you. I told him you keep both doors locked. And I said, you don't say a word to nobody. I said, I don't want men breaking in here and beating you to death. You hear me? And I never want to be tortured again. I'm scared. Officer John and Mark, I'm scared living close to him. He's very dangerous, and him running around trying to start his own hate crime. Remember in June or July of 19, they said they were trying to get a group of people to beat me to death in Canal Fulton. And before that, in 18 and 19, they were trying to get people to hang me. And they were bragging, they were trying to get a lynch party, including Dave. They're trying to start a hate crime. Now, these people, if you've lived here in Louisville, you've been here through the whole crazy drama. Like, people, some of the neighbors, the police had always told us a drug dealer did it to her before. I know. I know. I know. And that guy's trying to pull the scam of a dirty doctor, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He's not mine. They already confessed repeatedly. It was a scam. They lied. And they altered the tape If it sounds mechanical, it's the voice alternator. Not just dropped. It was them talking through it. You can get them on Google Play, Amazon. We all know better. They said even said mechanical, nobody fell for it, not even one moment. He's very dangerous. He's part of all this then. And is probably one of my rapists. And did you go down to Carl's attorney? And because where he told the neighbors that was one of his religious guys going in there, he's fake law enforcement. They impersonated the Portage County sheriffs and the FBI. The guy that tortured me and raped me was a fake FBI agent. And he was with Michelle's group. Okay. So make sure that somebody didn't go down there and spread their lies. I have no charges. I have no accusations. I have one traffic ticket. See, that church and Dave thinks that the police and the FBI is stupid that they fell for all this. Even when they mocked him. June 7th, 23, Lighthouse Tabernacle made fun of FBI agent John in Walmart 62 that they found for this done a taser for. They never fell for it. They've been playing you. But make sure no one said anything to Carl's attorney down in Carrollton. Because they're trying to pull a scam that they're to get every dime I ever make. And they're trying to steal Carl's money. So it's just a scam. It's not legit. But make sure nobody said anything. Because everything up in Portage County, if you go in the Portage County Sheriff's Department, there's all kinds of scam alerts. False documents, false this, false that. They send out to people trying to scam money. It's a cartel. I'm going to upload this.